will becomes 5, this loop will be terminated, and it is coming outside of this body of the loop, and it will print this result, that is print sum, that is in case of our example that will be 20, that will be printed using these statements, as you can see here. Now how this execution will be performed in case of C language, you can see here. This is another example of for statement. You can see in this here you can see for number counter variable will be initialized by 1, and condition is number is less than or equal to 3 and number plus plus, means this loop will repeat for 3 times from 1 and 1 to 3, 1, 2 and 3, means 3 times this loop will be repeated. Here you can see we have only written one sentence after for loop. The body means we have not used curly brackets, so only one sentence will be considered in the body of for loop. So you can see when the value this loop, we are going to execute this loop, you can see this is how this loop is executed. You can see in the when the value of number equal to 1, it will print condition is satisfied, so the output will be printed like this, it is 1, then again condition is satisfied as number is less than 3, because the value of number is 2, so condition is satisfied, again it will print 2, then again value will be incremented by 3. So you can see here value of number is 3, so again condition is satisfied, so it will print 3. Then value of this counter variable, it will becomes 4, so the condition is not satisfied, and it is coming outside of this loop, as it is so that it will print have come to exit. This is how your for loop is executed in programming. Now another thing is our next two statement, that is loop control with condition test. Now loop structure of this is, you can see here, one is in this controlling loop with condition test. We can check the condition in the first, means in the beginning we are checking the condition, and if the condition is satisfied, then we are going to execute the body of loop. If the condition is condition is not satisfied, then it will not going inside the loop. Second thing is condition is tested in the later part, means at the end of body of the loop we are checking the condition, means once it will be executed, the body of loop will be executed, and then condition will be checked, and if condition is satisfied, then it is again moving the beginning of the loop. Now you can see here, this is flow graph for first portion, in which we are checking the condition in the beginning. In the flow graph you can see here, condition is satisfied, then it is perform this step X, and if it is not satisfied, then it will execute step N. Now we can directly map this flowchart using this statement while. In while loop you can see the syntax of while loop, in which while is a keyword that we have to specify, and in the bracket we have to specify the condition. Then we are specifying statements. Here you can see there is a like for statement. Here we have also used this two different syntax, in which first body is curly bracket is not given, because we want to only specify single statement in the body, so it is not necessary to specify curly bracket. And if we want to execute more than one sentence, in that case we have to use a curly bracket, as you can see in the this slide. Now this is a flow graph of second portion, in which we are going to check our condition at the end of loop, means body of the loop will be executed, and then we are going to check the condition. If the condition is satisfied, then we are again repeat the loop, means in this case first time body will be executed whether the condition is satisfied or not. If the condition is satisfied, then it is again it is loop will be repeated. Now we can map this flow graph using a do while statement. You can see here, this is a syntax of do while. In case of do while, I told you here body of the statements, body of this loop will be executed once whether condition is satisfied or not. If the condition is satisfied, then it will repeat this loop. If it is not satisfied, then it is coming outside, and outside of this loop, and execution will be performed for remaining statement. Now let us write down one let us discuss one problem in which we are taking input from the user, and if the input is from range 0 to 100, then we are checking that, further checking the inputs. If it is greater than 49, then we are going to print the result pass. If it is less than 49, then fail message will be generated. And if it is input value is not from this range, means not from 0 to 100, then we are printing that message wrong input. Means we are continuously taking the input until that proper value will be entered by the user. Now for this we are first drawing this flow graph. You can see here in the flow graph, you can see we are taking the inputs from the user by the statement input m, and then we are checking the condition. If m is less than 0 or m is greater than 100, in that case we are going to print wrong input. Means value which is entered by the user, that is less than 0 or higher than 100, it is not proper value. We are expecting the value from this range 0 to 100. So we are checking the condition m is less than 0 or m is greater than 100, then we are printing this message wrong input, and again we are going to execute the statement input m. And if it is condition is satisfied, means the value of m is in this range 0 to 100, then again we are going to check the condition. If it is higher than 49, then we are printing the message pass. Else if it is less than 49, then we are printing this message fail. Now let us map this flow graph in our program. Here first let us try to execute this with different values. If the value of m is 110, in that case you can see here this condition is not satisfied, because user is enter 110, so condition is not condition is satisfied, so that will print this message wrong input. Now we are taking the next wrong input, message will be printed on the screen. Then again we are taking the next input. Now user is entered different another values, that is 5. For this 5, the condition is not satisfied because it is within the range, so condition is becomes false. So we are going to, it will coming outside this loop, and that will be checking next condition. So it is condition is not satisfied because it is condition is not satisfied, it is not higher than 5, so condition is false, output of the condition is false, so that will printing this fail message. Now we are taking next input, that is you can see here next user is going to enter 57. Again this first condition for the loop is not satisfied, so that will enter coming outside of the loop, and it will going to check second condition. This condition is also satisfied, so it will print the message pass. Okay, this is how this loop this flow graph is executed one by one with different values. Now this here this is a condition control loop with its condition being tested at the end. Means we are checking our condition at the end of the loop. Okay, we can also check the same condition in the beginning using by changing a little bit this flow graph. You can see this example in which we are checking the condition in the beginning, and if this condition is satisfied, then it will enter into the loop. Okay, here condition control loop will with its condition being tested in the beginning. Now we are directly map this flow graph using a while loop. You can see here in the program we have written first statement for taking the inputs, that is a scanf, for taking the input of marks. Then we are checking the conditions while this condition is satisfied, then this it's print this message, and when the condition is not satisfied, means marks is less than 0 and marks is we want to take the input from 0 to 100 range. If it is in this range, then it is coming outside of this loop, and then it will going to check the second condition, that is our for passing and fail message. Okay, that is a second selection for checking the pass or fail. Now we can also write down the same thing using do while. Here this is another example of do while statements. This is the third statement of C language. You can see here in this example we have written that in the first using printf we are writing that input start and end value, and user is going to enter two different value, and from starting to end this loop will be repeated. Now as I told you, this is a do while loop, so that will be executed once, and then it is going to check the condition. Now let us going to execute this program. So first suppose user is enter this statement will be executed. This statement when we are going to compile this and run this program, first this statement will be printed. As you can see in the screen, it will generate input start and end value. Then suppose if user is enter these values, that is 65 and 67. Now you can see here using this statement we are taking the inputs, and that this two value will be stored in a start and end variable. Now this loop will be compiler will going to enter into this loop, and it is going to print this result, that is you can see here this is printing the ASCII value of this digit, because I have used %c, as you can see in the statement. So it is printing the ASCII value of this variable, that is A65. Then our end value of end variable, that is 67. So this start will be incremented by 1, and again the value of start will becomes 66. So it will print this B66, as you can see here, and then again it is incremented by 1. So the value of start variable, that will becomes 67. So it will again print this value 60 C of 67, and then value of this variable start is becomes 68. So it is condition is not satisfied, and it is coming outside of this loop. Okay, so this is how our do while loop is executed. Now this is a third different method for controlling loop. We have discussed two different methods. One is counter control loop, and second one is a condition control loop. In the counter control we are specifying the counter and control the loop, and second we are specifying a condition, and for that condition is satisfied, the loop will be executed. And this is sentinel control loop, in which we have specified, you programmer have specified certain value, and when up to that value, means user is going to enter that value, this loop will be repeated. Let us understand this using this example. For example, here we want to take different integer values, and until that user is enter this 0 or negative value, we are going to repeat this loop. Okay, means you can see here this is our input values, where user will enter any values that is integer values, and when user will enter any negative value or 0, then loop will be terminated. Now let us going to write down Let us going to discuss this using program. Here we are going to understand the above same problem using this. In this exercise, we have set our sentinel value, that is 999. Means when the user will enter this value, we are going to terminate the loop, and until the user is inserting this value 999, this loop will be repeated. Now you can see here, this is the flow graph for this sentinel control loop. In this you can see here, sum will be initialized by 0, and we are taking the input for the variable, and then in the condition portion we have specified the condition x is different from this number 999, then loop will be repeated. In the loop statement we have performed the addition where sum equal to sum plus x, and then we are taking the next input. We can also see the same thing in program. We can see both the things, flow graph as well as program in this slide. You can see this variable sum and x will be initialized. Sum will be initialized by 0, and x value of x will be inserted by the user using this scanf statement. Means we are taking the value from the user using this scanf statement, and then we are checking the condition. If this condition is satisfied, means user is not enter this value 999, then we are performing the addition, and if value which is entered by the user is 999, then we are going to terminate the loop. You can see here in the while condition, it is a little bit different than counter control loop and condition control loop. In this case we have specified this values sentinel value, and until that value will be entered by the user, this loop will be repeated. In the while loop again we have also specified the same statement for taking the inputs. You can see here scanf statement is written inside the body of this while loop. So with the help of this statement, user will enter value of x. Now you can see here, after coming, when the user will enter this value 999, it will be terminated and print the result, and which is a summation of all the numbers which is entered by user. Now let us going to execute this portion